Alrighty, guys, it's warming up a little bit for the Home Story Cup qualifier later with a cast from from I don't know what it was from especially. I think it was the AlphaX Super Series. Not 100% sure which number or when this was played. I think it was played just within the last week or so. So it is recent. And let's just dive on in. It is a best of 5 and it is PvT. We're going to start off in the top right side of the map. The blue Protoss player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming is Zest. Taking on the red Terran from the Shopify Rebellion. Down in the bottom left, it is ByuN. Alright, I always love catching some of these replays available via AlphaX's Patreon page, if I'm not mistaken. Usually they have Matcherino pages you can get the replays from too, if you're interested. Typically, that's what I used to do. Then they were like, look, we're sick of you just giving us money on every single event for replay pack. Just pledge on Patreon, we'll send you everything. So here we are. Makes it very useful because it means I can just dive in and grab some replays quickly if needed, you know. That's always a nice little bonus. As we get into this PvT, I do wonder a little bit as to what we might be about to see. Wondering what ByuN's going to bring to the table today. I feel like I haven't cast Zest in an eternity, no? It feels like it's been a hot second since I've seen some Zest gameplay. I don't necessarily know why either. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's not really any reason he wouldn't have been playing in anything lately. So yeah, not 100% sure what's up there, but maybe we will find out as we get things started off. Probably going to come through and build up a Stargate. I'm just going to get that underway initially. It's just going to get that started up, get that rolling, and see what might happen. The bunker coming down on the front from ByuN. He's just going to take a little bit of caution in his setup here today and make sure he's not in too much trouble while getting things underway. Stalker patrolling at the front, Zealot as well, and otherwise not actually really going to see too many early clashes or anything, especially because ByuN is bypassed that Reaper to go straight into the reactor. Means we just don't even have Reaper action on the map, so obviously that makes it kind of a little bit more intriguing, I suppose. Oracle on the way up, just going to be seeing the extra gateway coming through as well, just getting that all settled here, and just going to be having our warp gate coming through. Our first Oracle already onto the map and going across to see what it can do. With ByuN already on an extra racks, we really are upping the amount of bio here, so getting that bio up and running. We'll see what is going to go down. Oracle dives into the main base. Let's see if he can deal some damage. Unlikely with this amount of Marines. It's hard to imagine so many Marines would be out of position as the Marines come through there. And that Oracle takes a massive chunk of damage. So Oracle taking a lot of hits. Oracle gets pushed away. Now just a couple of Stalkers continuing to patrol on through. The Oracle wants to try and get back in, desperate to try and find something, but again, so far the zoning has been pretty darn good from ByuN, making sure nothing really gets done in this. I mean, to lose 3 units in total. I mean, 2 SCVs, and what else did the Oracle kill? And if it's got 3 kills max, I don't know what it killed exactly, but it's got 3 kills, and we're going to see 3 Oracles in total. So 3 Oracles against Terran, kind of scary because you can then start to one-shot Marines. You can start to one-shot SCVs. And usually you combo this with a few Adepts, although no Adepts this game. Usually you combo it with a few Adepts, just go kind of running at the front or so. Not really the case this time around. Just going to be the Oracles on their own accord trying to get something done. Let's see if they can be successful as they come on forwards. Just going to see straight away. Oh, that SCV actually got into the refinery and survived, and we kill an Oracle as well. And ByuN's early game has actually been spot on so far, not taking any damage at all to this. Absolutely no issues at all. +1 attack coming through, the extra Marines coming in, starport building, and Yeah, honestly, some pretty reasonable damage being done. A couple of oracles come through, and SCV gets picked off. Going to go back over this side and look for a little bit more damage as well. Not quite finding anything just yet. Again, a few extra stalkers all coming up. The +1 attack coming through. The blink on the way. All transitioning nicely from Zest. It's just a question of if these oracles haven't done anything, are we just in a little bit of trouble? Is that going to, you know, make things a little bit scary for us overall? Is it going to be alright? Well, that's what we're waiting to find on out. Obviously, casting this from replays, already discussed that. That's why there's an instant pause and resume. No surprises there, at least there shouldn't be. And yeah, the couple oracles just keep on coming along. Trying to see if there's an opportunity. They drop a revelation, not much will happen. Good map control, and actually the stalkers are coming forward to greet this initial group of marines. So forward they come, and they're going to get shut down pretty hard. Not really enough numbers at all here from ByuN. He has the extra marines showing up now. I mean, if all of this was together at once, yeah, this might have been kind of scary. With only a little bit of it coming in at a time, it was a little bit less scary, but he is still getting through quite a few of these stalkers. I mean, they don't have blink or anything. It's not like they were upgraded. Let's just see the oracle coming back through. A couple of them coming in. Marines are there to fight this off without too many issues, though. At least fend it off for a moment. Now the oracles will chase for every single marine. So expensive, honestly, on both sides. Both players end up losing a significant amount here as the medevacs will load up, start to go into the top right-hand corner. Away they go on a little bit of a journey to try and get something done. You miss in-person Home Story Cup? Well, that's a good thing. That's the good thing. This Home Story Cup's going to be in person, then, isn't it? It will be live in July. That's why there's qualifiers rather than just a cheeky little set of invites and stuff. It's a proper EPT event played offline in Krefeld. The players will be there. It'll be awesome. And EU qualify for that in less than an hour. For now, bio units in the main base are dealing some damage and picking up an okay set of kills, I guess. Maybe not really as we continue through. It does seem as though we're going to end up with a little bit less than expected. You kind of got, kind of gained from that drop. I really expected there to be a little bit more, like I say, gained, but doesn't happen at all. As this medevac is going to come running around the top left, seeing if it can find an opening or not. Oracle's coming through. A couple of SCVs will go down. That's 6 SCVs dead again. Once more, Zest is just finding really good damage here in these early stages. Getting quite a lot done as Revelation drops in onto the bio army. And yeah, you're going to do okay to just tackle that a little bit. We do have extra Colossi on the way up. The charge coming through, the +2 attack, and the extended thermal lance. All upgrades which will go a long way in the end. Towards this game being a little bit more Zest favored in the mid game. And again, just loading up everything. Wants to go and kind of just seemingly all-out attack, right? Just wants to, have a good go of this. Stalkers blink through. Marauder already goes down, so that gets picked off pretty much immediately as well. That's going to be seen. Big drop in the main base. Zest has got a recall to deal with this, so with the recall in, should he be in any trouble at all? No, I don't really think so. Fire units continue to fight. A couple of them do get out. ByuN attempting to evacuate a few more. Loses the medevac, which he maybe could have saved otherwise. I mean, the units in the low ground are kind of baiting the blink down with all those Widow Mines. Doesn't happen, though. Zest actually has the Revelation to cast, and with the cast in Revelation, you are going to be able to see that this will turn out just okay. So it's going to be a-okay. We're just going to be having the Stalkers and the Oracles set there. And now continue to chase down the last little bit of bio. Really feels like Zest has this one in control. Don't really know where you're going to be able to take this now as ByuN. The Doom drops aren't really working. He's got Ghosts, but I don't think the Ghosts are going to be able to offset the power of the Colossi especially. I think that's going to be the biggest issue of all here. And I think that is going to cause further issues down the line right now. So expecting that to be a little bit of a problem as our bio army will turn. Will jump onto this set of rocks. That means he's not actually down the low ground in position, which he might have wanted to actually prioritize here. The MP is going down. Is that enough to take this fight? I again heavily doubt it with this amount of Colossi firepower already in play. The Zealots are not dying at all. There's +2 attack on these units, so they are shredding from Zest. It looks like Zest is good to take game 1 of this best of 5 series from this little AlphaX tournament that took place. Coming through, just going to be seeing the last couple of ByuNs going down. Trying to drop on top of the Colossus, does get it, but there's a new Colossus already reinforcing, so it's not going to be all that meaningful, and it is going to be a GG. Zest takes game 1 of this best of 5. Bottom right-hand side does take the first game. On to Berlingrad we go. It's Zest, the Red Protoss from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Up against the Blue Terran in the top left-hand side from the Shopify Rebellion, this is ByuN. Game 2. And let's see what we get out of Berlingrad. A map that ByuN should kind of like. Short map, easy to push across, easy to reinforce across and be aggressive on. I mean, it really just ticks all the boxes for ByuN, right? This is a map which he absolutely should love. It's exactly how he should like to play things, so shouldn't be anything too wild there or too crazy there. Let's see what we get. And again, hello everybody in the chat. I hope you guys are feeling wonderful. Welcome to the stream again. This is just a replay from the Into the AlphaX Super Series. We'll be casting Home Story Cup EU qualifiers live in less than an hour's time. So, yeah, like I say, just a little bit of pre-show today, a little bit of setting up. Did just have a, I did just want to kind of get live early and, like I say, get a head start. I've got some hours to fill this month on Twitch as well because of the ad deal thing. The more hours I stream, the better. So, just trying to sneak in an extra hour here and there whenever possible. And just in general, we have pretty full streaming weeks kind of ahead of us, at least until Valencia comes around. So, yeah, it's I'm just trying to make the most of kind of free broadcast time. Making the most of it, getting as many streams done as we can. Seems like a good plan to me, means more StarCraft for you guys. I'm just going to have a Cybernex Corby in place. Nexus is on the way up. And the assimilator coming through as well. As we continue to get settled down here with the game number 2 opening, we're kind of waiting on the tech choice from Zest. He does send a Zealot across the map, so a little bit more aggressive than usual. Let's see if that really builds into anything or is overly meaningful or so. We'll find out about that in the next few moments as that Stargate does get placed. And yeah, a couple of extra barracks are coming through on the main of ByuN. So again, a couple of barracks up and running. It's going to be 3 racks in total. Obviously, shorter maps are definitely one you can just run across with the bio units and sometimes find success on. So, see how that rolls. So it sits in the center. Stalker moves all the way across down the bottom left. And just going to be seeing the Stargate finishing soon. Will we just see Oracles again? Yes, possibly. Maybe try and play Phoenix or something, but I suppose we'll need to see soon. Marine's actually going to find the Zealot in this little hidden space. We lose 1 Marine. Not the end of the world. Very affordable to lose a Marine, of course. That's something you can kind of just say, okay, cool, it happened, whatever. Doesn't, like I say, really matter too much. And, yeah, you clean out that Zealot. That was otherwise just, I mean, not also really a big deal, right? It's kind of like an early unit for an early unit. No one really minds. That Zealot, that 1 Marine, is not going to make a big difference in the overall state of this game. It's just nice to clean the Zealot out so it doesn't kind of keep on scouting or anything. That's why ByuN makes the move on it. The Oracle comes over and is looking to grab their first revelation or so. If not, maybe some pulsar beam action. We'll see if it can maybe find some damage here. Oracle coming down into the natural and is going to come through. A few Marines coming along. I'm just going to be seeing the combat shield stim back. All of this continuing up. Bioforce continue to build. And the engineering bay about halfway done. Factory coming through. 2 Oracles together. Going to be setting up. And getting ready to go. Yeah, I'm not sure he got 2 Stalkers here as well. They're going to grab 1 SCV pretty darn quickly there. So, nice little grab on an initial SCV. Now 2 Stalkers together looking to try and get a Marine kill. Marauder comes through, gets a shot off as well. A bit of back and forth. ByuN moments away from hitting Stim in combat. I'm worried that if he gets the upgrades and he runs across the map, Zest hasn't done anything to really keep ByuN back or to slow him down at all. Let's see, these oracles dive in. I mean, ByuN's gonna have the upgrades finished and has not made an effort to go across the map, so it looks like Zest might actually just end up being okay here. Might not be that much of an issue. Our Nexus coming through, finishing up on the third, and again, Twilight Council Forge on the way up. A couple of gateways coming through as well, and there goes our Bio Army now moving across the map. Zest will say, cool, well, that means you don't have much to defend my oracles, and he will start to deal damage, but it does mean these oracles are not going to be at home to help defend, and to be fair, oracles can actually provide quite a lot of damage output onto a Bio Army, so yeah, that might be a little bit scary here as the first force field lets a few units through, and then ByuN goes turning around. Doesn't look like ByuN's going to find much of an opportunity to actually deal damage in this situation, so going to peel back, maybe pull around the other way and see if we can do something from the other direction. As the oracles pull back down to the bottom right, Marines move through. A little revelation just attacks those Marines. And those Marines now starting to come up this ramp and chase down this Stalker Sentry Force. Stimming through, one sentry goes down immediately, and Stalker's taking some damage as well. In the end, ByuN obviously just ends up backing away, so this isn't going to get too crazy, it's not going to get too hectic. It is just going to calm down and settle into a bit more of a comfortable mid-game on either side. I thought those Oracles were going to say at least goodbye to one of their buddies there, but it looks as though the Oracles turn out to be alright. Plus one attack upgrade is now finishing from ByuN, the 2 additional barracks coming through, so he is going to hit 4th and 5th racks nice and quickly, but it is on the back of a 3rd CC. He's not going to be too base all in or anything, he is going to have that 3rd as backup, and that should be, we'll see. A good sign is just where this game's going. It's still going to be fairly heavy bio pressure, but he doesn't need to win the game with one of these pushes. He doesn't need to overwhelm Zest or pull the boys or anything crazy like that. The only thing he could do along those lines is maybe if it becomes like a 3rd, maybe if this becomes a, 3rd base, he could still pull the boys and just fake the 3rd a little bit, right? Be like, haha, I'm gonna macro. And it's like, no, I'm not actually, JK, gotcha. Army coming down, Oracles will drop a Revelation in, and just see the Fire Force getting coded in detection there. Just gonna have the first couple of Widowmines showing up to help. Charge isn't done yet, by the way. That's actually kind of a huge deal, no? Fighting this without charge lots seems very scary to me. I guess let's see, as we do have our force coming down the ramp, a little stasis ward action. Try and buy some time. If ByuN knows about that, at least he could try and set it off early, though. Like I say, without charge, I'm not really that afraid of Zest's army. Let's see if ByuN is. As he comes around, he is killing a pylon on the high ground, I believe. That's where the firepower up the ramp is going. Stasis ward only catches a couple Marines. Seems like ByuN was fairly aware it was there. He was trying to pull back from that position. So, only a couple Marines caught, but with the super battery included, Zest does hold. And now he's holding and also about to get charged. And I do think, again, once charge is up, life becomes a lot easier as our Bioforces continue in. Couple Zealots going down, the Oracle's being picked away at Bioforce, still pushing through here. Sentries continue to go down, these Zealots are in trouble. I'm just going to see Zealot Stalker still moving around the center. Two more Colossi in production here. Obviously, once you hit that transition point, ByuN is going to struggle to really deal with this, so it's definitely a problem in the making. Again, just the same as the last game, ByuN never really hit the, the power point of his army to be able to deal with Colossi properly, so eventually Colossi were out, and eventually ByuN was just in a lot of trouble then, so yeah, not exactly ideal at all, as the Bioforce is going to end up pushed away. Isn't going to be able to do too much. One more Revelation comes down though, so just keeping track of this. Of course, Zest being very cautious. He doesn't need to make any moves out with his tech coming online. He's very happy to sit back, defend a little bit, and just play that as needed. So, yeah, he knows he doesn't have to go rushing on into any crazy situations. It's okay to just play this slow. The Zealots will warp in, plus the attack coming up from the Forge, and we do have a Dark Shrine coming in from Zest as well. So already just accelerating into some harassment options in this mid-game as well, really giving himself a whole bunch of possibilities. We kill off a Widowmine there, and the Stalkers moving forward will have a Bioforce greeting them pretty quickly. +2 attack and +1 armor continuing in, and we do grab the Observer on this top side as well. So at least that's something from ByuN, who is blown a 4th CC this way. He has started to get a few Vikings out. Is it enough to fight against this army right here and now? Let's find out. I feel like these Vikings need to be really babysat at the moment. The Stalkers just get to pick them up free almost, and the Colossi are not being kept out of this battle at all. The Colossi are able to come through here, and only 2 Vikings going to take an eternity for those Vikings to actually kill anything. They're trying to get the Prism though, and they don't get it. It's still alive. I mean, it's not like it would have stopped a warp-in per se. It would have stopped the next warp-in, but I think it's clear that this game might not have come down to the next warp-in. As, yeah, it looks like this is going to be enough just about from Zest to keep moving through for at least quite a bit more significant damage before he gets cleaned up. He's going to get a ton more SCVs, right? That Colossus gets to stay alive. Finally goes down. His extra Marine stim in to get the kill. And finally clean that up. We still move forward. These couple of Marines going after some Stalkers. The Colossus doing as it can. Just trying to push this Bioforce back. 44 SCVs killed, and Zest is looking very good to take a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. Marauders get the Colossus. The other Zealots continue through. I'm just going to be seeing the supply depot. Also taking a few shots. Medivacs to load up some units, but it's not going to be enough to save this, and Zest is going to take a 2-0 lead in pretty convincing games. Feels like nothing is really clicking for ByuN so far in this best of 5, unfortunately for him. Let's keep casting these games of StarCraft 2. Top right house, sun side. Our Red Brothers player who leads 2-0 is going to be Zest. Taking on the Blue Terran in the bottom left-hand side from the Shopify Rebellion, it is ByuN. Yeah, where has Zest been lately? Like, have I just been missing him? Has he not been playing in as much stuff? Let's have a look. I feel like I've seen a lot of Hero and so on. Let's have a look at his match history and just see what Zest has been playing in as of late. Load, please. Maybe, possibly. Yo, thank you so much. Whoosh, how you doing, man? 16 months. Wow, where did the time go? Hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much for being a long-term supporter of the stream. I really appreciate it. ByuN literally played in Open Cup Korea. Okay. You literally played Open Cup Korea recently. Yeah. I think he's not played in as much stuff as you would usually expect to see Zest playing, and that's only because he usually has quite a high rate of attendance, so maybe he is chilling down a little bit on how much online stuff he plays, but in general is still getting quite a few games in there, so it is just a case of he's just not quite been playing in what I've been seeing, whereas usually when Zest is playing in everything, then you kind of know that, yeah, then you kind of know that you're kind of bound to find him at some point somewhere. From the high ground, I'm going to drop down a Pylon. That's that down. Sepco coming through. Next is on the way in. We just get ourselves settled here as the Reaper pops out and the reactor goes down. Factory is building from ByuN, so getting that factory up and online nice and early. Obviously moving away from maybe some of this biocentric play. Something factory focused could be the switch up he needs to maybe get back on track here against Zest, because it's not exactly been pretty for him so far. He definitely needs to change up a bit of something. This Reaper really had a good go at getting that Zealot, but doesn't quite have the full firepower to finish it up in the very end, unfortunately. And that will be the end of that attack for the moment, at least. It's going to be seen as Stargate is about to finish up. Once again, Zest sticking to that Stargate opener. Sticking with the Oracles, it seems so far, seems to be his game plan. So, going with that, sticking with that, kind of somewhat expected, I suppose. As you do see, the Reaper is coming up. And we'll set on the high ground for a few moments, now moving down. Just figuring out where exactly it might want to head on over to. Heads over to the far right side and is going to be able to hop up into the main base perhaps. Where it's going to find, oh, an Oracle's building. A Warpgate is researching. A few different bits and pieces just currently ongoing up in that base. Twilight Council starts from Zest, so quick Twilight Council this time. We have seen him go up to 3 Oracles in that last game. This game, it's only the 1 already, so we'll say, I mean, with Twilight already on the way, it's difficult to justify affording a second Oracle, and that's absolutely seemingly the case here. We are not able to afford that, so that makes perfect sense. And just going to be seeing the Cyclone. It's going to pull back, actually. Just as some units were starting to move through the center, I wonder if it could have maybe grabbed something. It's going to find the Zealot, but line of sight blocker. Doesn't matter with the high ground vision, but there's the Oracle now getting the shot on the Cyclone. And this might be significant. Yep, Cyclone has no way out. So actually that Zealot gave itself up for a brilliant cause. And it worked wonders in the end. So that actually worked rather nicely. Yeah, thank you so much, Percival, for the raid, and welcome everybody. As we currently cover this ByuN and Zest best of 5. Ghost is moving through. Again, Stim is coming up. A few extra Marines on the way in. Engineering Bay and a Barracks continuing to produce a starport as well from ByuN. So all of that continuing out here for now. Our third Nexus will go onto location. We do have Forge on the way up as well. It's just getting that settled, getting that into place. As our Cyclone and Marines will gather up in the main base. So just getting that over there. The Barracks going to land on the Tech Lab. With the factory building up the reactor, the starport will be able to make a swap onto it. Start up some medevacs and, well, Blink on the way through from Zest with that and +1. We'll see Blink finish, and then we'll see if he just wants to go straight into charge and how quickly he wants to tech into the splash damage, or if he wants to play maybe a bit more of a, you know, an opener or a style here that's just focused on massive gateway units. That is 100% a choice here. That is absolutely something you can do if you'd like to, so definitely options as our Marines put some damage out, and that hallucination taking a few shots is going to be just zoned away. I mean, it's already kind of picking up the info you want, just seeing the Marine count, seeing a rough idea of where the starport is at and medevac production, so, you know, info that is good to have for sure. As otherwise, if you just see the extra gates coming up, seems like we are going to see a mass of, at least something, a mass of gateway units to begin with. Robo coming through, but he actually kills the Oracle. That's nice. Gets rid of map control. I would be kind of surprised if we dropped a Robo base super quickly here. Like, Zest has a bit of money. It just doesn't seem to fit in with the style he's setting up for. With 6 additional gates, it's going to be 9 in total of the 3 bases. This goes into an observer at first, so we'll start to get some map control back on the field after losing the Oracle. Of course, the Oracle usually is a pretty big part of holding map control, so losing out on it is unfortunate. Well, both these medevacs of ByuN will load up 8 Marines each, and 16 of them will unload on the right-hand side of the map. So, unloading over here, healing being done, and looks like we're ready. And once again, an attack up into this 4th, as we got an observer that is spotting this group of units at the moment. An observer keeping an eye on things. The Cyclone trying to see if it can do much of anything. High Army stemming forward, coming through. Stargate taking some damage. Extra Stalkers taking some shots. Nice little position to sit, and you're going to at least deny a gateway, right? Which is always pretty neat if you can just get rid of a gateway early on and stop the, or slow down the production. You don't necessarily stop the production, but slowing it down is absolutely fab. We are going to see the Cybercore falling, and the ByuN Army pulling back down the right-hand side just a little bit there. Just falling away. And drop a Cybercore down as well in the main base, so we'll get that going through. The Bioforces heading up to the top here, and ByuN just keeping good map control. You know, without any splash damage on the field, I do not see Zest kind of hitting that army which you had in the previous games, which was just super terrifying, right? Which was super viable in terms of being able to shut his opponent down and to keep him from moving in or anything. Widowmine goes off, hits a Zealot. Just going to be seeing the sentries going down, Stalkers and Immortals as well, wanting to come down here as well if possible. Fire Force will get rid of a chunk more Zards and a lot more continuing to drop. My army of ByuN now backs all the way awake. Extra couple Widow Mines will come and join the fray, and ByuN will re-engage up the left-hand side towards this Protoss force. One Widow Mine does end up dying, and as the Fire Force now getting in there is going to grab itself an Immortal. Also a nice little grab. Nice grab indeed. That round of mules starting to come in there on the other side. There's actually Bio Forces in the center. You're going to grab a chunk of Zealots as well, so actually does get something pretty nice done here as the Bio Army continues upwards. Do have Stalkers that are immediately going to have to blink away, going to think twice about engaging into this Bio Force. And up the ramp we go. We are, again, going to have quite a lot of potential here. Deal some damage. Couple of Zealots going down. Bio Force still stimming through. No Storm yet, man. It's moments away. ByuN's going to find a hell of a time to attack in. 10 seconds before Storm, I think this attack started at. Huge. I mean, absolutely huge. It's game-changing because if the Storm was here, you just cannot run up this ramp in anywhere near the same manner, and Zest would have been 100% convinced that he'd be safe. And I'm pretty sure that's why he's kind of sitting there in the way that he is, because he looks at this and says, yeah, I'm safe, why wouldn't I be, right? You know, this looks completely fine for me, so yeah, just a nice moment from ByuN to attack. And he gets so much done in that short period of time. That is absolutely fab. You thought Zest was in the military? Well, Zest has been meaning to go to the military for a long time, but he just never gets the letter to say, yep, you're going. He's been expecting that his final tournament has been on the horizon for what, like a couple years even at this point, but nope, hasn't had to go yet, so still playing. It seems like he's just going to keep on playing as much StarCraft 2 as he can until basically until then, so yeah. Storms go down, 5-7 SCVs are going to get picked off, and it's going to see the Bioforce coming back through. We are going to grab an Observer. And ByuN is heading forwards. He's going to start picking away at some of these rocks here, so he's going to be able to take that down. Additional racks, 2-2 upgrades, enhanced shockwaves, all of that producing here from ByuN. All of that coming through at the moment. Continue to push through the middle of the map. This Force of Zest is pulled all the way back to the upper right. +1 armor is on the way, and that's going to be an accompaniment to his +2 attack that has already completed here, so that's going to be the way we set about this. ByuN has 2-1 already, so minor upgrade lead, about to have 2-2, so actually will have 2 armor upgrades over his opponent. Fights like this are somewhat possible if the Zealots get clumped up towards the ramp, as the Vikings going a bit too far forward, I believe, hunting for that Prism, which is out on that left-hand side, not really close to joining in on the festivities here just yet. I'm sure Zest is aware that it's going to be needed if that fight does break out. Don't imagine he's going to let it stay too far away from anything. Imagine he's definitely planning to bring it back in, and there it is. Oh, Zest's army is actually going to slink down the right side of the map, which means he's going to miss ByuN's forces, and ByuN is going to pull back to deal with this. So this becomes a bit of an interesting fight where ByuN is going to end up engaging up his own ramp into Zest. It's a Storm to begin with as well. More EMPs going down. Archon's still getting struck. We're going to have this Bioforce coming through and looking for anything possible. The base is on fire, pulled away. There's no splash damage left over here, though, and this means that this Bio Army can chase easily and have a good time cleaning up. And Zest is going to end up losing a lot, and we'll see if ByuN just straight up pushes across the map on the back of this, because now that he's, had this fight, he might look at this and say, okay, cool. You've lost so much there. Surely you can't recover in time for me to get across the map and engage from there. So away we go. Bioforce continues to chase to the top side. The third base is active and looking for a hopeful defense. I say third. I think this might have been the fourth. So either way, this base is standing there waiting for this fight. Wondering if it's going to get to survive it. A few snipes trying to go down to clean up the Zealots ASAP. There wasn't any extra energy left over for additional EMPs, so the snipes were basically just making this as one-sided fight as possible in that moment. That's going to be GG's, and ByuN is going to get a point on the board. Isn't going to let this go. Map 4. And still with match point in his favor, it is going to be the cross player in the red, in the bottom left. It is Zest. 2-1 in the lead right now. In the top right-hand side, the blue Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. Alright, game 4, this best of 5, couple of refineries coming up. So there's going to be something a little bit different from ByuN. Won't be an immediate expansion, will be at least a little bit more tech-heavy on the one base to begin with. Gonna start out on that and see what will go down. See if we can find some success with this, as just got that Zealot Cybernetics core on the way up right here, and yes, that's actually putting a low ground gateway and Cybercore down, so really wants to get this first Zealot across the map quickly, get up into the face of his opponent, and make the most of that. So that will be the plan out of Zest, as there's the factory from ByuN. Unfortunately for Zest, obviously making a quick Zealot doesn't really work as well when your opponent's going into the faster factory, because your opponent will almost always have a defense available, and that just won't really turn out oh so good for you, unfortunately. It's going to come through, and the Zealots continue across the map. We'll get to see, of course, no expansion low ground, so if nothing else, still gathering information here from Zest, as he will be able to swipe here for a little bit, but obviously Marines are on the way out already, so this isn't going to be something that lasts forever. The Reaper is actually going to be able to fight and scrap around and get himself a probe kill, so good for ByuN. Gets a probe out of that Reaper early. Not bad. Do you say so myself? That was not necessarily a guarantee. Just going to be seeing the extra couple Marines coming out of the reactor. Extra barracks will go down. Blink going to Chrono Boost away. Twilight Council is going to be getting that a going. Reaper is going to come on through. Keep on the information gathering. ByuN must win this game to be able to obviously survive in this series, otherwise this will be it. So 4-1 for ByuN. Again, this was until the AlphaX Super Series. These events usually like a few $100 of prize money. I believe this one runs as just like a single elimination bracket of best of 5 semis, and then a best of 5 final. So yeah, I believe this is straight up a best of 5 to see if you can make top 2 of the tournament or not. Reaper is trying to venture into the natural, but Stalker and a Sentry get warped in over there, and the Reaper does not last long. It's going to die. Felt like the Stalkers were going to start performing a ritual on this Reaper before killing it. It's like, we will pray to our Protoss god, take this Reaper, and we shall do the Stalker dance and summon the power of the Protoss god. I don't know, like something weird, but yeah, kind of a little bit wild. Kind of a little bit strange. But yeah, the Reaper does go down. I mean, ByuN had given up on it as well. He was like, "Yo, just kill it then." Didn't realize it was going to be sacrificed to power up Zest's army 5 times over. Just going to be seeing this army of ByuN heading down the bottom side. We'll get a probe kill pretty much straight away, and that is nice. Just going to be seeing the tank shot is good. Going to grab a Stalker here. No, blinks back last second, but that means that this third Nexus is already under attack. Zest is going to hallucinate an Archon. I mean, ByuN must know that's a fake, so target fire should allow him to just focus on these Stalkers. We get rid of one tank, but that will be all. ByuN's going to still have position on this third base, but Zest will just GG. And it is going to go 2-2, actually. That is going to be that. And I'm proud of Altaris, who knows how long the game might be. In the bottom right-hand side, the red Protoss player from the Dragon Phoenix Gaming Squadron. This is Zest. In the top left from the Shopify Rebellion, our blue Terran player. Give it up if you're cheering on ByuN. ByuN. We get this underway, we get this started out, and let's see what goes down. Refinery straight up into the main base as Zest will pop his assimilator down. Looking for the Reaper-based wall-off here this time around, Zest, so going to be heading in that direction at the very least to start with. Well, it's good to know roughly where you stand in that sort of regard. Probe will go moving on forward, venturing out to the top side of the map, off on a journey for the moment. Away we go. Otherwise, he's actually going to get onto the gold base, so he's actually going to go and build up over here. So this is going to be an expansion. Aha, that's fun. A little bit different for sure. I'm kind of down. Kind of down to see how this pans out. See what exactly comes out of a little bit of gold-based action. See if that's something that ByuN can, you know, deny, basically, right? It is kind of the onus on ByuN to do something about it when this happens. So, like I say, I'll see if ByuN can find something out of this or not, as we do get things underway. It isn't one of those things you have to deny, like, immediately either, right? You can be a little bit more passive about it if you'd like to be. And just sort of, you know, you don't have to, like, run across the map straight onto the gold, but typically what you can do is say, well, these bases are separated. Maybe I can interject in between the bases, right? There's certain attacks that I can maybe, you know, I can maybe play a lot more harassment-focused. There are ways to try and punish this, apart from just, like, bum rushing the gold base and being like, let's kill it off, let's get rid of it. Because a lot of the time as well, the additional income from that gold base is going to help the Protoss player to defend the gold base, and so then the gold base is very holdable even from attacks that you feel like should be able to punish it. So, I mean, the biggest weakness of this gold is truly the fact that it's just in a forward position, but, you know, forward position doesn't matter so much if Zest can just get up some batteries and defenses over here, and if he is going to focus his defense around here, maybe that is when it's better to go dropping elsewhere instead. Medic Logi, thank you so much for the 200 bits as well. Appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And just a blink opening from Zest. Obviously, played a lot of Stargate in this series, but has looked toward that blink a lot as well now. I'll be doing so here. I like it, I think. In general, just going straight at blink when you're playing the gold base is just a bit stronger than Phoenix. I think Phoenix can be really good when you know you've got a certain area to patrol and zone around. The Stalkers have a bit more flexibility in being able to be kind of an actual fighting force wherever you need them to be, and then maybe trying to slow down attacks getting onto this gold. Just think the bases being split up makes it tougher for the Phoenix to really be a justified kind of response here. You just have the Raven coming online, a couple SCVs and Marines coming in, and the medevac that was trying to Widowmine drop is pushed back, but is going to have Marine reinforcements here soon. Try and help it along, so we'll see if that turns into anything too exciting or not. A few Stalkers come through, having a little bit of a bish bash with these Marines, and they are going to be able to push this back, so this was pretty horrible for ByuN. You just still have at least the medevac on the map. It did get down to the bottom corner. Zest is going to do the very kind of Zest thing at this point in time, which is to take the other gold base. Is there something you can do on Pride? Take both the golds. If you can keep up the pressure with like a heavy gateway unit force and you just take both gold bases, yeah, it can work. Does get 2 probes out of this one Widowmine shot. That's nice. This one is going to go off on just 1 probe, and they will both get cleaned out as the Raven's looking to make a play into the main. ByuN just trying to chip away at some workers here, trying to get some initial damage done. Stalkers will move up this ramp into the natural, and a tank already firing, a few Marines coming through. Just looking to be a defense there, and that's going to be fine for now. Problem is, if you can't break out of your natural and your opponent's just manning both gold bases on the map, you can see why this becomes an issue very quickly. So ByuN needs to be pretty proactive about his position here. If he isn't proactive about it, he can run into trouble very quickly. So he needs to be very careful about this. Don't want to let this get out of hand or anything. And we'll see what happens, see what goes down. See if Zest will be able to really fully make use of both of those gold bases. They are mining away. And ByuN, just feel like the timer is on him. I mean, he can't maybe do too much until Stim is done, so I guess in some ways ByuN is limited until that is down as the Raven falls, tries to get some auto turrets off, but they're not really going to achieve anything, right? Just may as well make something of a play there. Maddox, my dude, how you doing? Thank you so much for the 14-month resub, mate. Appreciate it. As the Bioforce comes through the top side, gonna drop down, kill off a pylon, and Stalker's gonna come through, take down a couple of depots on that natural ramp as well. So doing okay with all that. Just gonna see a couple of medevacs down the right-hand side, and Zest up on the top. Seeing where he can take things at the moment. Actually, have a little unload on this right side. Just going to go after this pylon here. That's two Zealots, the Stalkers. In some trouble. And some target fire down on them as we do see the extra blink through, trying to chase those medevacs away. And ByuN will be kind of kept in the corner. So at least he's getting out on the map. He's taking some of the pressure away from himself and maybe kind of pulls Zest away from those gold bases, but he's not getting any damage done to the gold bases. He still has to do something about the gold bases. Otherwise, what does it matter? Nation goes nibbling that medevac, and Zealot Stalker gonna come along here already, and it is gonna start making its way up this ramp. Wouldn't goes off, kaboom, for a Zealot already. And now Zealot Stalker continues in. Siege Tank goes down straight away as well. And these Zealots continue through as we've got SCVs under heavy fire. Army from Zest pulls back just a little bit. Medevac still coming along here and will be able to unload if needed. And ByuN's trying to take a third base, and I don't think he needs it like right now. But it has to be sooner rather than later. Like, if you can't get it pushing down, like, right now, fine. But if he doesn't get it in the next attempt to push down, then what's he going to do? I mean, his army, it's okay. I mean, he's about to be down on upgrades, actually. He kind of needs the Widow Mines to deliver. Obviously, it's a pretty low-tech Protoss army, and that's ByuN's advantage. Because he's got a lot of mine and stuff. Wow, double Prism going to go into the main base. Well, that's not one way to circumvent if there's like some kind of single Prism defense mechanism, like a single missile turret or something. Unload an Immortal, Zealots, and maybe we can send one of the Prisms to the low ground or something. Don't know if both of them need to stay here, but Zest is very purposefully keeping the double Prism in the base. The double Prism drop is, well, actually pretty cool. The double Prism drop, well, that's something new. Yeah, I mean, just gets a little bit of damage done and just doesn't warp anything extra in and can evacuate everything, so extremely effective, right? Just extremely efficient, I suppose, as Zealot Stalker on the ramp. Thinking about what it wants to do, looking like it might run up the ramp here and have a go at that Bioforce. Yeah, we're actually going to go for this here. The Widow Mines are going to do a lot of initial splash damage, but there's so many Zealots behind. That means the initial Widow Mines only got the first round of Zealots, so the extra Zealots can still perform a lot of the tanking duties that are needed here. But this Protoss army's getting pushed away. Extra Stalkers and a couple more Zealots coming through. Storm is now finishing as well. I'm not sure if we've got any High Templar currently ready to go. We've got two of them. Are they in that Prism? They just might be. Forward we go. First Storm drops down. Those, oh my god, those value units are just eating it as well. Apparently they like standing in the rain, looking thoughtful, taking some emo photos for their Instagrams. Yeah, but there's a little bit more serious rain clouds this time around. Zest is way too much, and the power of double gold base on Pride of Altaris strikes again. Interesting that ByuN chose to veto something outside of Pride. Pride is a pretty typical Terran Veto in TvP.